South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. Alrighty, let's get started with the Saturday Race Day Las Vegas radio program. This is Ralph Siraco. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at the South Point Studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard, right on this fabulous strip in your gaming capital, that's for sure. And we welcome you to the show. If you're watching us, you're doing it obviously on YouTube and the South Point Studios location on YouTube. And if you're there, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Love to have you with us, and it's free. Not a problem. It's free, so don't worry about it. And we welcome you to the show on this Saturday morning. And, of course, all of you listening worldwide on all of the other platforms we have, like our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. Your iPhone, your Android with the KSHP phone apps, your cell phone apps, your device apps that you can get at your app store and put it on your devices. You can hear us on the iPhones and Androids. Certainly, wherever you get podcasting, we're there as well. And here in Las Vegas, our anchor radio stations. So you can hear us here in Las Vegas radio-wise at Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. So we got it all covered for you. We welcome you to the show no matter however, wherever, and wherever you get us. The weather is the big story in racing this morning. All right, now the weather is going to affect a lot of the racetracks around the country. I want to remind you that when we get to the menu, we're going to give you the menu as it's happening right now. There could be cancellations. Here's the deal. Last night, they tried racing at Turfway Park, and if you watched the races, you thought it was right in the middle of the holiday season with all the snow coming down because they tried to run the races in the snow. They got the first 5 in, and then they said no more, no mas. That was it. They canceled after the 5th race because of the weather conditions at Turfway Park. Now, that is in the Cincinnati area. So that's in the Midwest there. That system has moved out now. Now we have that system that's making its way through the Northeast. And right now, they say it's light snow at Aqueduct. It's snowing at Aqueduct, but they're going to try to run that card at Aqueduct today with the snow already there, and we'll see if it gets heavier or lighter as the day moves through. But they're going to run at Aqueduct in the snow right now. Jonathan Hardoon, where he's up in upstate New York, has got a lot of snow there, and so thank goodness they're not running at Saratoga right now. As far as the south, we get to Florida. There's a big system that's moving through Florida, so much so that we believe that they'll be canceling that Daytona 500 in Florida on tomorrow and probably reschedule it for Monday. But as far as today's concerned for racing in Florida, could be a little tricky at Tampa and at Gulfstream as well. There's a big system of rain that's moving through the Gulf Coast areas of Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, and of course Florida as well. So we'll wait and see about the weather there. Now, this morning, had a chance to look at the Fairgrounds racetrack this morning as they were working out horses. The track is sloppy at the Fairgrounds right now, okay? But as far as the stakes races are concerned, obviously they're going to run today because the damage for the rain and all that has already been done there, mostly in Fairgrounds in New Orleans. But they have taken two of the scheduled turf races today at the Fairgrounds already off. They are the early races. But what they're going to do is they're going to keep the stakes races on the turf course. So right now the track is labeled sloppy. The turf course is labeled soft. And I do believe it's the second and eighth races on the card that are coming off the turf. The rest of the races on the turf, by the way, are the stakes races. They're going to try to hold them on the turf courses. Now, that's what's happening right now in those parts of the country that we have, significant racing today. As far as Turfway, they're still set and ready to go tonight. We'll wait and see about that. The other racetracks, no other cancellations on the board right now, but the weather as it moves through those areas throughout the day could cause a lot of differences as far as changing track conditions and or taking races off the turf and or even a cancellation. But that's what it is right now. Now, as far as Southern California is concerned, you know that Southern California, Santa Anita, is scheduled to run a special card on President's Day Monday. This coming Monday, President's Day, they had a special holiday card scheduled for that day at Santa Anita. They also had it scheduled for Golden Gate. They have already canceled the races on Monday, President's Day at Golden Gate, because they didn't have enough horses to enter into that card. So they're not running on Golden Gate on President's Day. In Southern California, what they did was they were taking entries for Monday's races, for the races on Monday for President's Day at Santa Anita yesterday. They halted taking those races at the entry box yesterday, halfway through the day, for the entries for the card on Monday, because they wanted to gauge the weather conditions there for Monday. We understand that the Weather Service has indicated there's about 80 to an 85% chance of rain in the Arcadia area for Monday. So they're going to wait until this morning to reopen the entries for Monday's card, and we will wait and see what kind of decision they make for Monday at Santa Anita. So the weather is playing a big part of conditions and racing all over the major, racing outlets today and, of course, through the holiday Monday. So that's the latest there. As far as here in Las Vegas, Nevada, we're doing okay. It's overcast. It's overcast outside, but it's 48 degrees, which at this time of the morning, as of late, is pretty good temperature for us. So we're at 48 right now. We're going to get up to 69 by tomorrow. They say we're going to top out at 65 today with overcast skies, but no rain, significant chances of rain here in Las Vegas. So that's what we got right now, okay? Also, remember the Kentucky Derby Future Book Pool is already underway. It started yesterday. And, of course, the Kentucky Derby leaderboard prep races today. Of course, there's two of them. The Risen Star at the Fairgrounds has assembled a deep field of very contentious leaderboard horses for the Kentucky Derby today. The most competitive Kentucky Derby prep up to this time today. It's the Risen Star at the Fairgrounds. And, of course, at Sunland Park, They'll have the Sunland Derby later on with 20 Kentucky Derby points there. As far as the Kentucky Oaks is concerned, you got one race with 50 points for the leaderboard for the Kentucky Oaks today. That is also at the fairgrounds. It is the Rachel Alexandria, and we'll be covering those. I'm going to cover all of those stakes races at the fairgrounds with Jonathan Hardoon coming up after our first break. Jonathan is with us. So is Rich Ang. We'll have, of course, John Lendo giving us the latest on what's going on in Southern California. And, of course, Jerry Jackowitz as well. We got a busy show on this Saturday, so don't go away. We will be right back.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
All right, moving along on the Race Day Las Vegas show, take a quick look at what happened yesterday. Yesterday at Aqueduct, Jonathan Hardoon gave us a winner in the sixth race. Gum Island gummed up the rest of the field and won. Gum Island paid $6.70 in a depleted field of horses in that race. In that particular race, there were 3 scratches on the card. Got to tell you, 67 horses entered yesterday at Aqueduct. 16 late scratches on the card. All right, 16. 13 of those 16 race horses that were scratched were vet scratches. Okay, so 23.8% of the entire card yesterday was scratched at Aqueduct, and 13 of the 16 that were scratched were vet scratches. So I'll wait and ask Jonathan, what the heck's going on there at Aqueduct? In any case, the pick 6 was hit yesterday at Aqueduct, paid $101,989. Way to go for that one there. And as far as the jockeys are concerned, Kendrick Carmouche had a couple of winners yesterday at Aqueduct, one of them for Linda Rice in the 7th race with What's Up Barbecue. What's Up Bro, I should say. I'm sorry. And one late note on Linda Rice. Linda Rice, she broke, you remember, a single-season record for wins of the NYRA last year on the circuit. She has dropped her appeal for a 14-day suspension issued by the New York State Gaming Commission earlier last year and will serve those days from March 3rd. So Linda Rice is going to take a 14-day suspension. She's going to take it. She's going to drop the appeal. She's going to start her suspension on the 3rd of March. It'll go through the 16th of March, and she also got a $2,000 fine for that. But she won a race with Kendrick yesterday, and she, as you know, will be certainly winning a lot more races there in New York. Gulfstream Park. Miguel Vasquez won the 5th race with a horse called Platinum Rocker, paid $96.80. Came back in the next race with the dead favorite and won it at $3 even. What a scope of prices that was for Vasquez yesterday at Gulfstream. Oaklawn Park, hey, I got to tell you, this kid Asmussen, Keith Asmussen, is really turning into a hell of a jockey. He won 4 races yesterday at Oaklawn Park, all for his father, Steve Asmussen. In the last 5 days, this kid has won 2 or more races on each of the Oaklawn cards. Keep that in mind. Asmussen family doing very well at Oaklawn Park. And finally, at Santa Anita yesterday, here's one that you'll probably never see in your lifetime again. Certainly has never happened at Santa Anita. 2 horses, big 37-1 long shots, won back-to-back at Santa Anita yesterday and paid the exact same win price, $77.80 in the 6th race aspirational, $77.80 with Order and Law in the 7th race. That second winner was ridden by Mr. Frisu, Antonio Frisu, who had a big day yesterday, had 4 wins overall on the day. Trainer Peter Urton had 3 wins on the day. And believe it or not, those 2 Those two teamed up for the second $77 winner yesterday at Santa Anita. Crazy stuff happening there. Leading trainer Steve Knapp also had a couple of wins, and jockey Flavien Prat also checked in with a pair of wins yesterday. But the big day of racing yesterday at Santa Anita for Urton and Freysu. All right, time to get started with the racing menu today. We remind you, as we always do, the first post times we broadcast on the show each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone, because that's the Pacific time zone we're in here in Las Vegas. These will be the first post times that roll out in our race and sports books here today, right here at the South Point. And if you're listening anywhere else on the multitude of platforms that we had, that we welcomed at the top of the show, and you're in another time zone, adjust it to the Pacific time zone. Don't want you to miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad. Okay, here we go. Here's the menu of tracks right now as they stand today before any cancellations or changes. We begin with Gulfstream Park. A dozen races today at Gulfstream. The Grade 3 Royal Delta Stakes is their $150,000 stakes race. Fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up at 1 mile and 16th. 11 before any scratches. And the favorite in that race at 2-1 is Tizzy in the Sky with Irat Ortiz Jr., Gulfstream Park's first post time, with a pick 6 jackpot carryover of $182,892 is set at Gulfstream today at 9:10. 9:10 first post. The Big A Aqueduct in New York, as I said, light snow, 32 degrees. And so they're going to run at Aqueduct today. 10 races, a couple of stakes races. The Ruthless Stakes will be the 7th on the card. 3-year-old fillies going 7 furlongs. 7 to the post before scratches. 2-1 favorite there is Shalia Princess with Manny Franco. And then the $100,000, the Broadway Stakes at 7 furlongs for fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up will be the 9th. 8 go to the post there before scratches. 2-1 favorite in that one is Can't Hurry Love with Trevor McCarthy. First post time at the Big A at Aqueduct in New York, 9:20. Laurel Park has 10 races, 4 nice stakes races. The $100,000 John B. Campbell will be the 6th on the card. And in that race, the 2-1 favorite is Be Better with Sheldon Russell. The $100,000 Nellie Morse will be the 7th on the card. 7 go to the post there. The even money favorite there is Hybrid Eclipse with Sheldon Russell. The 8th race is the $200,000 Barbara Fritchie. 7 furlongs for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, a Grade 3. 9 go to the post before scratches. Favorite there is Bluefield at 9-5. And the $200,000 Grade 3 General George at 7 furlongs for 4-year-olds and up is the 9th. 7 go to the post on that one. Favoritism will be between post time at 6-5 with Russell aboard and Numsit's Class at 8-5 with Toledo aboard. First post time for the 10 races, 4 stakes races as well at Laurel Park is set at 9:25. Pick 6 jackpot carryover there, $6,124. Then we have Tampa Bay Downs. They're next with their racing today. First post time at Tampa Bay is 9:30. 9:30 at Tampa Bay. Pick 6 jackpot carryover there, $3,005. First post time Tampa, 9:30. 9:30 at Tampa Bay. Fairgrounds, that's where all the action is at. Okay, the track is sloppy. The turf course is soft. The second race and the 8th race are already off the turf, rescheduled to the main track. However, the 10th race, which is the Albert Stall on the turf, is still there. The favorite in that overflow field is at 3-1, and that's Spirit and Glory with Flavien Prat. Prat is down there along with Joel Rosario today. 11th race is the Mine Shaft Stakes, $250,000 Grade 3 for 1 mile and 16th for 4-year-olds and up. Field of 9. In that race, 3-1 favorite is Best Actor with Flavien Prat aboard. 12th race is the $175,000 Fairground Stakes at 1 mile and 1/8, scheduled for the turf, 4-year-olds and up. A field of 12 before scratches, and the favorite there at 3-1 is Strong Quality with Florent Garreau. Then we go to the Rachel Alexandra, 50 Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks points there. 50 Kentucky Oaks points for the Rachel Alexandra. That's the 13th race on the card. The Grade 2 at 1 mile and 16th for 3-year-old filly sees a field of 7. 5-2 favorite is Vivi's Dream with Brian Hernandez aboard. And then the 14th race is the main event, the Grade 3 $400,000 Risen Star, part of the Louisiana Derby Series. 50 Kentucky Derby points up for grabs there. Mile and 1/8 for 3-year-olds, a field of 12. And the favorite in that race, lukewarm as it is Track Phantom with Joel Rosario. I can tell you this is going to be one hell of a competitive and deep race, this 14th race at the fairgrounds. All right? First post time is 10 a.m. for their 14 races and 6 stakes races at the fairgrounds. They have a regular pick 6 carryover of $3,196. Oak Lawn Park is next. They've got 10 races. The $150,000 Dixie Belle for 3-year-old fillies at 6 furlongs is their feature. And the favorite in the 8 filly field before any scratches is Galea Princess at 5-2 with Christian Torres. First post time 10:30 at Oak Lawn. Sunland Park has 9 quarter horse races. The Pepsi-Cola Handicap is the 9th and featured stakes race there. First post time at Sunland Park is 11:25. They got a couple of carryovers there. Pick 5, $133. Super High 5 is $293. Then we get to Santa Anita. Santa Anita is getting ready and starting to roll here at 12:30. First post time is at 12:30 for 9 races. Their feature race is the $100,000 Baffle Stakes at 6.5 furlongs on the turf for 3-year-olds. 7 go to the post before scratches. It is a very competitive race. The 5-2 favorite is Stay Hot with Antonio Frisu. I guess it's appropriately named for him after 4 wins yesterday. He's going to try to stay hot here with Stay Hot today. All right, 9 races. Santa Anita has a pick 6 carryover. Regular pick 6 carryover at Santa Anita, $56,501. First post time is 12:30. Golden Gate has 7 races. Golden Gate has a pick 6 jackpot carryover, $76,788. Just 7 races at Golden Gate. First post time 1:45. Turfway Park, well, they'll try to go today. Remember, they canceled after the snow last night after the 5th race. The $125,000 Dust Commander Stakes is their 7th and feature. 4-year-olds and up at a mile and 16th. 9 go to the post in that one, and the favorite at 5-2 is Shirley Furious. First post at Turfway, if they go, is at 255 at Turfway Park today. All right. Then you have Delta Downs, 8 races. First post time 3:15. Charlestown has 8 races with a pick 6 jackpot carryover, $50,972. First post time 4 p.m. Wrapping it up with Los Alamitos in Southern California. They've got 9 races, 1 thoroughbred, 5 mixed breed, 3 quarter horses, and the quarter horse stakes race is the 9th and final, the $174,200 Los Alamitos Winter Derby at 400 yards for 3-year-olds. First post time at Los Alamitos tonight is set at 6:10. That's the menu, if it stays that way. Today, let's go right to Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I'm doing fine, my man. We got to get right to it. Let's go to those races at the fairgrounds. I know you did a lot of work for us, and the first stakes race up for grabs will be the Colonel Power. That was the 8th race, scheduled at 5.5 furlongs on the turf, now on the main track. So we'll skip that because it's now on the main track for you. And we'll go right to the Albert Stall Stakes, the 10th on the card, and an overflow field of 13. I don't have any late scratches there at the fairgrounds yet, but it's a mile and 16th on the turf for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. What say you?
Well, the number 3 horse in here, Creative Cairo, 6-year-old mare from the Lindsay Schultz barn, ran very well, I should say, last time out at fairgrounds over this turf course. She's run well when there's been given the turf course. She's listed at 7-2 on the morning line, and I think she's clearly the horse to beat.
All right. Jonathan likes the 3, Creative Cairo, in the 10th race. We move to the 11th, the $250,000 Grade 3 Mine Shaft at a mile and 16th for 4-year-olds and up. A field of 9. Again, we don't have any late scratches yet. But the favorite in this race, and I'll tell you, this race is so competitive. There's 9 in the race, and there's only 1 horse in the 9-horse field that has a morning line above 10-1, 2 digits. So this there's going to be a very competitive race. Best actor is the 3-1 favorite with Flavian Pratt.
Yeah, and Brad Cox sends out Best Actor with Flavian Pratt, and I think this horse can't lose here, Ralph. I think this is a single in your late pick 5, all stakes pick 5 there. If you get anywhere near 3-1, that's more than fair. The horse has run well in the slop in the past. The number 3 Best Actor, certainly the horse to beat.
All right, you got it, my man. But I got to tell you one thing right now. If you key a Best Actor with any other horses in the exact and you hit it, it's going to pay off well because this is a very wide open field.
I agree.
All right, next up comes the Fairground Stakes, scheduled at a mile and 16th, still on the turf course, 4-year-olds and up. And in this race, there are 12 before scratches. And again, the morning line favorite is at 3-1. And again, it's strong quality, the 3-horse.
Yeah, and again, this is a horse that tried the Fairgrounds turf course last time for the first time, and he ran the best race of his career. Mark Cassie doing well at the meet, 6 for 20, and you're getting Florent Giroux back aboard, and I think number 3, Strong Quality, will be tough.
All right, so far we went through 3 races, and number 3 is your selection in all 3 of them. So we got to bet a pick 3. That's 3 3-3s, right?
There you go.
All right, now we get to the Rachel Alexandra. Of course, this is 50 points for the Kentucky Oaks. This is for 3-year-old fillies at a mile and 16th, a field of 7. As we say again, no late scratches to this time. And the favorite in this race at 5-2 is VV's Dream with Brian Hernandez in that one.
And she's going to be a lot shorter because number 7, West Omaha, will scratch out of this race. I heard from the Cox people that this horse is not going.
Ooh.
Cross End will go on another race on the card, I think, earlier. That being said, VV's Dream really lays over the field now on the figures, and she will be very tough to beat. She will be odds on, however, deservedly so.
All right, and in this race, big scratch that will be the 7 West Omaha. So you like the 6 VV's Dream in that one, and then we get to the main event, the $400,000 Grade 2 Risen Star, part of the Louisiana Derby series, and certainly a very important prep race for the Kentucky Derby, the most competitive and deep of the Kentucky Derby leaderboard points races up to this point. The Risen Star at a mile and 1/8 for 3-year-olds. It is the 14th and final race. 12 are entered in this one. What say you?
I love the number 4 horse in here, Sierra Leone. This is a 3-year-old colt from the Chad Brown barn. This horse ran super last time out. The track at Aqueduct that day was a complete conveyor belt. Nobody passed any horses. This horse came from way out of it, took the lead at about the 16th pole, only to have Dornock come back and beat him. But the race he ran was unbelievable. Chad Brown puts blinkers on today. This horse makes his first start as a 3-year-old. Highly regarded. They paid over $2 million for this horse, and he's going to show quick dividends today, Ralph. You're going to get close to the 4-1 he's listed at. They have other horses to play here, but I love number 4, Sierra Leone. I'll even give you a couple of exacta hookups. Use number 3, Anna Marie, and number 10, Resilience underneath. 4 with 3 and 10.
Now, I noticed that you talked about the race, etc., but you didn't mention the lukewarm favorite in this race, which is Track Phantom, which has pretty good credentials up to this point with Rosario riding. Post 11 at a mile and 1/8, you think he's going to get a wide trip?
Yeah, and I think he's going to have company to join him today. No easy leads in here like he's had the last couple of races. Listen, he's done nothing wrong. He's really run well in his last 3 races, and 2 of them were at fairgrounds. However, I think he's going to be the favorite or close to it, and I think he's vulnerable.
Okay, vulnerable, even at the fact of, well, we got to use him. I got to put him in the exacta anyhow.
Go ahead, put him in.
Because, Rosario's always a late closer. I don't want to get messed up with that, but I like your 2 exacta link-ups. Honor Marie is 6-1 on the morning line, and Resilience is a nice, juicy 12-1 on the morning line. By the way, Resilience gets the services of John Velasquez. He's going down there, not for the crawfish, that's for sure. So we have in the 14th race, the Risen Star. Your pick is Sierra Leone. Are you going to make that one of your official selections on today's show?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we got that as an official selection. The other picks are obviously horses that he likes in those races, but the official pick is in the Risen Star. Sierra Leone. All right, my man, any other selections, picks for us?
Yeah, let's go to Gulfstream, look at race number 3, and I love the number 2 horse in here, Boldness, a 6-year-old gelding from the Jose D'Angelo barn. Jose Ortiz aboard to ride. 4-1 on the morning line, pick 5, pick 3, pick 4, single. Today's 3rd race out at Gulfstream Park.
3rd race at Gulfstream, number 2, Boldness, with a bold pick here. The 2 in the 3rd race is Jonathan's pick at Gulfstream. If you don't have any more, we will let you go.
That's it. See you tomorrow, Ralph. Stay safe and be well.
You got it, my man. Thanks a lot. Jonathan Hardoon going through those races for us at the fairgrounds, that's for sure. All right. We're just rocking and rolling, getting along. Next up comes Rich Eng, that's for sure. And then, of course, we got John Leno and Jerry J. Interesting to get John Leno's take on what might be the weather there for Monday, President's Day, but we got a lot to handle before that on this Saturday, so don't go away. We will be right back.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas as we continue to cruise through this Saturday show here in Las Vegas at the South Point Studios. If you've never come to the South Point Studios, if you're listening to us on other platforms that we have here, you got to try it out because you can see these guys and all this stuff here. It's audio and video. It's at the YouTube. Just go to YouTube, punch in South Point Studios. You'll get to this site, and then you can punch up our show, and you can see the guys and listen to the guys as well, with all the great graphics and all these things that we have here. And if you have never been here and you come here, please take the time to subscribe. It is free of charge. We're just trying to get a handle on those who are watching us. That's all. All right, now we're going to go to Rich Ang standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. And I even shaved for the
right
today.
Let me ask you this, Richie. You going through a little bit of a NFL Super Bowl withdrawal this weekend?
Oh, absolutely not, because as soon as the Super Bowl was over and I was able to cash a few tickets, thank goodness, and hopefully others out there had the same experience, I've been diving into college and NBA basketball. March Madness starts in a couple of weeks, and last night I talked about San Diego State on the show, Ralph, with you and the listeners. And, I put a bet in on them at 150 to 1. I checked the odds this morning at that specific sports book. They're already down to 75. So I think some of the Race Day listeners might have taken heed and put a few dollars on them.
How'd they do last night?
They played really well. They led wire to wire against New Mexico, who many consider the best team in the Mountain West. They were favored by 6. They ended up winning by 11. And it was really a terrific game because New Mexico, even though they were trailing the whole game, Ralph, the coach Patino picked up a technical foul. It was done on purpose with about 5 minutes to go. They were down by 13. They made a huge run to get down by 3 with about 2 minutes to go, and then San Diego State stepped on the gas. But it was a really good game by San Diego, and it showed that they can score the basketball as well as play great defense. So
now I know that you do the race selections, and when you have a Santa Anita sheet, of course, you have your race selections for all the races at Santa Anita. But you also put on a simulcast play each day on that particular sheet that you have. Your simulcast play yesterday was at Oaklawn Park, and it was the 4th winner by Keith Asmussen for his father, Steve Asmussen. What a day they had yesterday. And that horse, Halo Cap, paid $10.20. So you get some simulcast plays for Richie on his sheet as well. But Richie, this kid, Asmussen, he's starting to turn out to be a pretty darn good jockey. Almost looks like his cousin. If you remember, the older guys out there would remember Cass Asmussen, which was Steve's brother.
Yeah, Cash is actually his uncle.
I'm sorry.
Keith Asmussen.
Keith's an uncle,
Yeah,
but he's Steve's brother.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Steve's brother, and I was working in New York when Cash Asmussen was doing great in New York, and Wesley Ward. I mean, they had a great jockey colony room. But I sent out a tweet that Keith just looks like Cash Asmussen in the saddle. Very quiet. He's a tall kid, real skinny. I'm a little concerned about Keith Asmussen maybe growing out of the ability to ride with the weight and stuff like that. But he's certainly very accomplished in the saddle now. Very similar riding styles that people remember Cash Asmussen, who had a great career in the U.S. and also in France.
That whole family tree is just so good horsemen in every aspect. And of course, if he gets too big to ride, he can always step in and be his assistant to his father, who's doing well. As a matter of fact, the winningest trainer, that's for sure. All right. Do you have a thought at all about the big race at the fairgrounds, the Risen Star today?
I thought Jonathan did a terrific job capsuling the race. Sierra Leone, his pick, has as high a ceiling as any 3-year-old out there at this point in time, Ralph. I mean, the sky's the limit for this horse. But if I would offer another horse to kick into the mix for vertical bets and stuff like that, look at the number 8, Catching Freedom. Brad Cox has so many 3-year-olds. He has a bunch at Oaklawn, and this horse won the Smarty Jones last time out. But he's got to filter them out. He can't run, 3, 4, 5 horses against each other. So he shipped this horse to fairgrounds. But number 8, Catching Freedom, I would suggest to throw on your tickets along with Sierra Leone.
All right, we're going to put him in that exacta with Jonathan's horse as well. Maybe we do a little boxing going on there. All right, Richie, let me have a horse at Santa Anita off of your sheet, and we'll let you go.
Yeah, quick comment about that horse I gave out yesterday, Elector. If people saw the race, Hector Barrios opened up like a 15-length lead down the backside. And, I just got a question, Ralph. Why a jockey, we have the speed in the race, why you need to open up such a huge lead, such an advantage, when maybe if you were leading by 3, 4, 5 lengths, you could save some horse for the stretch run. So that's just an editorial.
I would think, that is the observation that we would have watching the race. But we don't know if by, for him hustling the horse out of the gate and trying to get the lead, which he did, that the horse might have run off on him. He might not be able to get him back. So he said, just let him go. Because once you get a horse running at that speed, if you try to bring him back and fight him, you're taking more energy out of the horse and fighting him than just letting him go and see if you can relax him later on. But that was an observation of mine as well. We'll get the job done today, though, Richie.
Race 2 at Santa Anita. It's a maiden claiming and a horse dropping down from maiden special weight to maiden claiming for the first time is number 7, Final Storm. This horse has run a couple of speed figures, probably fast enough to beat these, but if he improves one step, he's the winner. So let's go with number 7, Final Storm, 5-2 in race 2.
All right, second race starts off the early pick 4, and it's the second in the sequence of the early pick 5. Second race, number 7, Final Storm. Let's hope it is only apropos for the name of the horse and not the weather there. In the second race, the 7, Final Storm, is your selection at Santa Anita. The rest right now available at the RaceDayLasVegas.com website. And, of course, he has that simulcast play as well. Hey, thanks a lot, Richie. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All right, one final segment to go. You know our closing act. It's John and Jerry, so don't go away. We will be right back on this fast-moving Saturday Race Day show. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching us on the South Point Studios position on YouTube.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
And don't forget, if you're watching the South Point feed on YouTube, we got some great other shows here. Look at the lineup. After us, Wednesday through Sunday, we're on from 7 to 8 a.m. But you've got Punchlines with Frank Nicotero. He's always got interesting guests, etc. He's really great to watch from noon to 1 o'clock, 5 days a week Pacific time. And, of course, Sports by the Book, 7 days a week, 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, 8:30 to 10 a.m. They'll be following us right after we're closing shop here at about 8 o'clock. Watch them all. They're great shows, trust me. All right, now let's go to John Lindo standing by in Southern California. John, first of all, what's happening in Southern California as far as Monday?
We'll find out, Ralph. Yesterday when they were drawing entries for Monday, they had about 6 races that would have been good enough to fill and go, but they just called it off, late in the morning. The reason given to the public is that they want to take a look, and there is rain scheduled for Monday. It looks like an 80% chance of rain. So we'll have to see. But they will try and re-enter today if everything goes according to plan. And if that's the case, then we'll draw and got a quick turnover to get everything ready as far as, the print editions of Daily Racing Form and everything else. So they've got to get it done early today, but we'll see. I'm a little skeptical about whether we're going to run on Monday or not, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, they stopped the taking entries because they wanted to gauge the weather. So I guess the weather is going to be the key factor in whether they open up the entries anymore or not, right?
That will be it. And like I say, nothing's changed. I mean, for a week now, we've had about the same forecast for Monday, a pretty good chance of rain.
All right. So we'll know by tomorrow, and you will give us the latest on what's going on for Monday, President's Day. We won't have a show, but they already canceled Golden Gate because they didn't have a lack of horses for the entries to make that card up there. And now the weather may be canceling Monday at Santa Anita as well. But they're racing today at Santa Anita. And before we get to that, a quick look at the Rebel and your observations.
The wet track is going to be interesting because a lot of those horses have not tried it. I tell you what, the day the Track Phantom won the first prep race down there at the fairgrounds on the undercard, Hall of Fame for the same trainer, Steve Asmussen, I thought he was super impressive coming up a narrow, opening up the rail, and he ran away. And I think he'll love a mile and eighth. The only question for me is if he will like a wet track, but he ought to fall into a good stocking trip in there. He's the play for me if I can get that 5-1. I think Honor Marie will get overlooked in there, and like John Hardoon said, Sierra Leone is the one everybody's going to be watching. The big price tag against the bias last time, but I don't really like changing equipment coming off the layoff and trying to figure something out. Mm-hmm. I want a horse that's sitting right on top of a good race right now.
Well, all I can say is my exacta box is starting to branch out a little bit now. Now I got to throw your horse in there, the 7-horse Hall of Fame. And you're right. This suggests that this race is wide open. It could be in the end the horse that likes the course, the track conditions, and the trip in that race. But it's going to be a good race. All right, back at Santa Anita, $77.80 strikes twice. Wow.
See, you mentioned chalk the day before,
yep.
And they're going to say, well, wait, take this with you. And
yeah.
How about the late pick 5, $58,000? And we've got a pick 6 carryover, which is great.
Yeah, we sure do. And, of course, I want to remind everybody that John Lindo's Lindo Report for all the races today at Santa Anita, plus the coast-to-coast pick 5 that will encompass the 10th at Gulfstream and the 11th at Gulfstream, then the 5th at Santa Anita, then back to Gulfstream for the 12th and final race, the 7th at Santa Anita. A suggested coast-to-coast pick 5 is also available on the sheet. One comprehensive sheet with a suggested late pick 4 at Santa Anita and all the goodie information. That's right now here at the South Point, only at the South Point, free of charge, complimentary, exclusively here at the South Point, because they love horse players here, and they sure do like John Lindo. They love John Lindo's sheet as well as we do. John, you got a winner for us today?
Let's go to race 3 at Santa Anita, Ralph. In the third race, I like the way that number 8 Shady Tiger, broke his maiden on the dirt last time at Santa Anita. In his debut, he handled the turf just fine when he ran second. He's an improving horse. He used an outside stocking trip last time to win. He's going to get the same trip today. There's a lot of speed drawn to his inside. I just think he sits out 3 or 4 wide and stalks the speed and runs them all down under Juan Hernandez. 3-1 on the morning line. Number 8, Shady Tiger, right back today. Third race, Santa Anita.
All right, third race at Santa Anita today. Your selection is the 8, Shady Tiger. Now, Rich gave me a horse in the second race, so we're paring down singletons in 2 out of the 5 races in the early pick 5 and early pick 4. You like the 8, Shady Tiger, in the third off the Lindo Report, that's for sure. John, before I let you go, We're talking about the unusual happenings yesterday at Santa Anita, but it was really shocking to see Antonio Frasu, who had 4 wins on the card yesterday, and trainer Peter Urton, who's always got live horses running, that they would combine for one of the $77.80 horse. How the heck did that horse get off at that price?
They missed it. I think he was 12-1 on the program, so he wasn't an impossible number there, but he just got overlooked in the wagering. And that is a very, very solid jockey-trainer combination. Peter Urton's been using Antonio Frasu more and more. Obviously, it's working. And this is a horse that's been on the dirt a lot, but earlier in his career, he was a good turf horse. Urton claimed him, moved him back to the grass, and he moved forward. And those that were smart enough to find it got a huge overlay mutual.
Yeah, no question about that. And the winner, the first $77.80 winner, the connections are not as familiar to race players as many of the other connections are. But that horse, Aspirational, saved every inch of ground known to man. He rode the rail from the time they opened the gate, and he rode the rail around the turn, and he rode the rail right up the stretch to win the race coming up the rail. And I think making that trip was the difference between winning and losing. But in addition to that, there wasn't a straw in his path at any time down the rail and in the entire race. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was a slow race. He had the absolute perfect trip, and you need that kind of luck if you're going to pull a 37-1 surprise. But you know what? Give a little credit to jockey Ricardo Ramirez. This is a guy that does his trade most of the time at Los Alamitos at night. He can ride. He's one up here. He rides a lot for Jesus Uranga when he comes to Santa Anita. But he's a good rider, and he gives you 100% every time.
And he should know about riding the rail on tight turns at Los Alamitos. That's for sure.
You learned that pretty quick over there.
You sure do. That's and Peter Urton, what a day he had, and Frasu, what a day they had. I guess when the cat's away, the mice will play, because Rosario and Pratt are in Louisiana today at the fairgrounds to ride there. A quick thought: did you take any look at the Rachel Alexandra before we let you go?
I did. I'm interested in watching the comeback of Intricate. This is a filly that got better and better last year for Brandon Walsh, who got off to a slow start this year. I think Walsh is just starting to run his better horses now. I think he's going to go on a run, and this is the kind of filly that could help him get started. I don't know where the ceiling is here, and I think I'm a little bit against Vivi's Dream, who didn't run her best race on a wet track in her only start on a wet track. So if the track is still wet, Intricate for me in the Rachel Alexandra.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate you taking a look all over the country. That's for sure. It's starting to get good now as we head into maybe 10 weeks coming up for the Kentucky Derby on the first Saturday in May. And you and Jonathan will be here at the South Point for our annual Kentucky Derby seminar the Friday night before the Kentucky Derby and right after the Kentucky Oaks. Thanks a lot, John.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
it's a great time, and you get that whole ballroom to set up shop and play the races all day.
Yeah, it's great. It really is. It's going to be fantastic, and we invite everybody to put it on your calendar now. Be with us on the Friday before the Derby and Saturday the Derby itself here at the South Point. And if people who are at the Super Bowl party know very well, they treat you just great here at the South Point. Thanks a lot, John. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Ralph. Good luck today.
And don't forget that Linda Report available right here at the South Point. All right, let's go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph.
They say it's light snow at Aqueduct. What say you?
I don't know. Light snow sounds right to me.
Okay.
It does. I will say this, that when you have these light snow, it usually doesn't make a difference in the going unless it gets a little heavier and it gets a little wet. So.
Well, we know
should be all right.
We know there's been a front going through that portion of the country. They canceled the races with heavy snow at Turfway Park halfway through the racing last night, and we know that down south there's sloppy tracks there. But light snow at Aqueduct should be no problem. That's for sure. It seemed to me.
If anything, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it seemed to me yesterday. There were a lot of horses that, whatever the composure of the racetrack was in its period of drying out or getting wet again, et cetera, whatever it was, there were a lot of horses winning by train lengths yesterday at Aqueduct.
Yeah, I'm going to be going through that to check for biases pretty carefully a little later on today. Sometimes you get a kind of track that a lot of horses can't handle, and all of a sudden one horse looks unbelievably fantastic because he could handle the going when the other horses just didn't like it. So usually that's in some sort of like goodish, track that's sort of a good track. It's somewhere, it's not fast, it's not muddy, and it could be a tricky track. So sure, that happens.
Jerry, let me ask you.
Part of horse racing.
Let me ask you this: How do you assess? You said you're going to take a look at it. Do you use video along with anything else to assess and sit there and say, wait a minute, this track all day had this type of bias or it didn't, and those horses were just better than the others? How do you assess that when you put your numbers on these horses that ran yesterday in their next starts?
Well, yeah, sure. Video is useful, but it's really more useful using charts and past performances. But the trick is not to worry about the winner so much. Really worry about what happened with the second, third, and fourth horse and see how they behave.
Okay.
And when you start to see a pattern, then you kind of from them get the sense. It's very possible for 9 races to occur and for 9 horses to go wire to wire, and for all 9 of those horses to be the best horse in the race. That's that's possible. It's sort of a low probability, but it's very possible. So just because a horse went wire to wire doesn't mean it's a speed favoring track. Uh-huh. Just because a horse closed doesn't mean it's a closing track. It probably has to do with other horses who are sort of stuck on the merry-go-round. We've heard that term before.
Sure.
Why aren't the other horses closing and doing other things? That's where you get the statistical pattern.
Okay, now, you all often talk on your sheet about pop-out key horses, V horses, or value horses, and the stars. But I noticed on the Jerry J's Power Page Plus, no stars on any horses today at Aqueduct.
It's one of those things. It's just the way it goes.
All right.
Horses have to have a form cycle. You're getting a lot of spacing in the races now, so sometimes you won't see too many stars on horses that have a lot of spacing in the races. So.
Okay, time to get started then. We'll go to Aqueduct. You do have a feature play today there, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're going to switch also for that because there's 2 scratches in the 4th race. I'm going to give the feature play out to you, but do what you want with it. Velouz. Just don't. He's the 6th horse in the 4th race. I just think he's going to be really short and not worth giving out on the show. Now that the two main contenders are scratched, sort of took the fun out of the race.
Yes, absolutely.
So
in that race, the 6th race, number 4 Ironman is scratched. And that was in the.
No, it's Irish Jackson.
I'm sorry, Irish Jackson, the 4 Irish Jackson. But the 2 My Town, My Rules was 7-5 on the morning line. I think that's the one you're talking about. Your horse was 7-2, the feature play, anyhow. So
Right.
We'll throw that out.
Right.
Maybe use it as a singleton in the race over race place.
Well, maybe, but you have to remember Secretariat didn't win every race, and he was always overwhelmingly the favorite, no matter whether they knew it or not. So it's not a guarantee.
Okay,
let's
so
go to the 5th.
Wait a minute. In the 4th race, then your feature play was the 6th. That's all we're going to say. Okay,
Right, that's correct.
Okay,
let's go to the 5th race. Number 3, Red. Oh, I forgot to click over here.
Red DGP.
DGP. Right, from David Jacobson, 5-1. Just a nice looking horse coming off a little bit of a layoff and a little faster than these. I think he's a real decent bet at 5-1. So maybe down to 7-2. I haven't given it that much thought. But we'll take the 3 horse in race number 5, make a win place bet here. Play the 3 over the 1, 2, 5, and 7. Do reverses.
Okay, fifth race, number 3 over 1, 2, 5, 6 in reverse. 3 in the 5th. Go to Santa Anita.
Yeah, number 7 in the 5th race, Tahini for George Papadromo. I love this horse. This is a horse that's just bred to go long. Has 2 sprints to get him sharpened up. I just love her for this play. First time turf, first time 2 turns. 5-1. Make sure you get like 7-2 or better. I'll take the 7. Tahini. Good win place bet here. Play the 7 over 1, 3, 6, and 10. Do your reverses. But the 7, that's our feature play. And at 5-1, a true pop-out key.
All right, 5th race, Santa Anita, the 7 over 1, 3, 6, and 10 and reverse. Don't forget Jerry J's Power Pages for all of Santa Anita and all of Aqueduct available right now at jerryjspowerpage.com. Well, we zipped through today's Saturday show. A lot of great stuff happening in racing around the country. We hope that the Mother Nature can somewhat be a racing fan today, at least for us. One more thing to say, Jerry saying it.
Have a great race day, everybody.